Alright, we're back with our dev, whatever it's called. Oh, by the way, I just saw Mask Imposer's playthrough of Aftermath, a map I've been working on. I'm planning to make a response video to that, but for now I think there's a few things that you've missed, and it's not your fault, totally. So first, Hydralisks have movement and range upgrades, which will help you out a lot. At the first 15 minutes of the game. And the map problem is first, there's no guide given to the player. I mean, there should be dialogue there or some message that will tell the player to attack a certain part of the map or to give a hint of how the player should approach the map. And that's not your fault, of course. And there's also the defenses you're speaking about. It's really easy if you attack before 30 minutes. You can wipe out blue and orange in 5 minutes with your army. Now the trick there is to take that time, the 15 minutes, to both expand to the plateau, the high ground. You build 3 hatcheries there, and then the lower part, get your gas and minerals, and then while doing that, while establishing that, attack the blue. But like I said, it needs to be in the dialogue first. So if you're planning on playing the map in the future, I might change the way things are, but it's really easy if you keep pushing forward. And then the green base, the teal base, there's a way to defeat it without attacking the front. So you can cripple the AI by taking the blue and orange bases. You can do that. You can starve the AI since the AI doesn't have infinite resources. They do get bonus resources, but it's delayed. So this will disable certain attack waves and will make the AI defensive. So once you've dealt with blue and orange within the first 20 minutes of the game, teal is basically disabled. So I'm not sure if I have to I mean, it's Starcraft 2's fault, They're giving players like an easy games. Anyway, it's really easy. And then you're right. For the blue, the final base at the northeast or southeast. The last base there, it's really very easy to defeat once you have guardians. So again, it's not your fault, and I think it's because there's too much tech, like you said, that is available, and most of the time your time was consumed trying to familiarize yourself with the tech. So I'm not sure, maybe you want to try it again, but don't worry, just hold off. Your input is really very helpful, and I thank you so much for playing the map. And I've realized I've gotten information of how players would play them up. It's supposed to be for veteran players, but there is a map that I have not released yet. That is a YouTuber version of the map. So I can use your information, the information you've given me through the gameplay, which is very helpful. The way I the way you play the map gave me insight into how players that are blind to the map actually reacts or responds to a map. So anyway, um, that's it. I mean, that should be it. Maybe I should cut this out. Anyway, Maporino deadline is in 10 days, and I'm not sure I'm gonna make it. So this time, I'm going to share a few information about map making, and we'll focus on lighting. And of course, this is the Proto 7 from uh, Mass Recall, and I went ahead and removed the terrain height changes and applied a uniform to most of the areas here. And I think, let me see. I think this part is a high ground. Yeah. I really like what you guys did with this map. But again, I'm not a fan of things like this. Now we could update this later. Maybe just turn this into, just add doodads here. That will help it. Anyway, let's proceed to lighting. I've actually recorded. Oh no. First, let me note I adjusted the texture UV scale to 2525. All you need to do is open the console at the window console or alt tilde. Then type text UV set, and I like to use 252500, and that will make the textures a little bit more smaller, but it blurs it a little bit. So maybe that's up to you if you want to use that, but I really like to use that. So lighting, I want to document this so I can share it with you. First, let's check if we are at the defaults. Diffuse multiplier, set everything to default here, so we have no problems. Turn diffuse is 11, I think, or 33, I'm not sure. 24. Okay. First, this ambient color defines how dark your dark is. It's like a global lighting. You see the dark parts here? It follows the intensity. I think it's the luminosity. So it set this to 50. It's going to follow that. Okay. See that? So if this is a night mission, I think, so maybe we should use this. Let's keep it dark. And then just add a fill. Or a back, maybe. No, let's turn it off first. Let's add a fill here. So our key is here, so our fill should be facing our player. Should put it higher, like this. So we'll have, what's the color? So we have a yellow sun or yellow moon, almost blue-green environment. So yellow plus blue-green, it should be purple. Let's remove saturation a bit. Okay. So we have a purplish light there. And bring back light to our objects. Maybe we should just reduce it here. Okay. So our units are not too dark. Okay. Now I want to keep this dark. Let's remember this. Let's turn it off. Because I want my shadows to be dark. Okay. So let's adjust a few things here. Now diffuse multiplier only affects doodads and units in the tone mapping. Okay. So you can either adjust your exposures first, and then adjust your diffuse multiplier. Should go to 1. I think that's the usual one. Let's keep our exposures low first. Oh, maybe 125 is good. Then the terrain, in the terrain tab, terrain diffuse multiplier allows you to set how much of the diffuse light affects it. So if you want it to be night, there should be moonlight, right? So it doesn't have to be dark. Let's just assume that we have moonlight. Let's give it maybe 1.75 is good. Okay. Then keep the tone, the diffuse of the units at a low. Maybe 1.25. And keep this shadow so that we can simulate this nighttime effect. It's not much feel during the nighttime. Let's keep it low. The backlight, however, I don't think we need this. I like to set the backlight by looking at the clips. It gives me an idea how much I'd like the backlight to affect my units. Or maybe things like this buildings like this. So if we want to keep it mostly dark, then we can keep it low here. Maybe 1 is good. And the fill 1. Let's get a purple. And the back. Okay. I think that's better. So we have our moonlight. Okay. So our specular color should be blue. See it as a cold light. Let's keep it intense. Okay. Maybe a 2 will work. Okay, now let's go to terrain. Terrain specular exponent defines how large the specular is of the terrain. So if you put it at a high, uh, you can see this clearly. Set it to a high number, then move our key so you can see the specular is small, affecting the terrain. So this is very useful. You can use this to change how the map looks. Now I think this one is good. There's a little bit of shine, but not enough to overwhelm the units. I think we can increase it some more. This is almost like a wet area or a wet effect. Now see if I lower this, it becomes too white. So let's say 60 should do, right? Okay. So it looks a little bit like night. We have the moonlight. And how much specularity do we have for our units? Let's check it out. I think this affects both units and terrain. This looks very wet. Let's reduce it to 4. And maybe we could reduce the specular, the terrain, maybe to 3, just to keep our Protoss units shiny. So it's supposed to be nighttime. Okay. Oh, also one thing. Usually before I edit the lights, I disable the fog so it doesn't interfere. You can always press F, but this time I think we don't have fog affecting this. Yep, we don't. So it's nighttime, and the Zerg has the dark swarm, right? Over the skies of Ire. So maybe it's a brown plus some red. So the skies should almost be, it's brown, right? Then yellow sun. It's almost like this color maybe. Now for the fog, the darker it is, oh, how did I do that? Okay. The darker the color of the fog, the harder it is to notice. Oh. Let's just reduce this. Fog density, let's set it to 1, just for a test. And fall off. We have fog now. Yep. Okay, we have fog affecting our terrain, but it's too low. I mean, your fog shouldn't be as fall off defines how fast the fog fades away. So 0.18, I think point 0.2 is good. The default point 0.2 is good. Okay, now maybe we can increase the height a bit. Starting height to 8. Maybe it's too dusty. Yeah. So it makes this area here a little bit more different because of the fog. Maybe we should turn this to blue just to keep in stride with the nighttime effect. You know, if you set this to a lighter color, it's more noticeable. See? You can see it. So we have this purplish tint covering the map, which somehow unifies, it helps unifies the colors. Maybe we should choose, I really like the brown because of how, the Zerg is here, stuff like that. Maybe we should go for red. Let's check that out. Yep. Then let's make it darker so it doesn't affect us so much. Okay. I think that's good. So this looks like it's almost nighttime, but not really. Right? It's like there's a huge light glowing. Maybe we can increase the density. Yeah, it interferes too much. Okay. What if we set this to blue color, bluish color? Let's check teal. It's like a morning setting. Purple really seems like a good nighttime color. Yeah. And then maybe we could change the light a bit. Oh, where's my light? Oh, here it is. Okay, so the key light is white. Chosen this because sometimes it's better for me to pick a white, uh, just change the mood by affecting the specular. So by choosing a specular color, I can define the time of day without having to, use the diffuse color, because it sometimes it muddies your map's color. So it kind of tints everything, right? So it can be used to unify or multiply certain color here. See, the browns are more pronounced. That's why most of the time I like to keep it white, especially in night times like this. So our specular is bluish. You can also add bloom, but I really dislike bloom. I'm a fan of it before, but after some time I realized it's not really that good. Let's keep that off. We can always change our hue here, but I'd rather have control through the coloration. We can also change our saturation. Was that 0.1, right? Or was it minus 0.1? I think I broke it. Okay, it looks more nighttime. I would like to do usually is to increase this a bit. Now you can make things more contrast. This can have more contrast using this. Let's do that. That. You see, can really amplify those darks and blacks, shadows and lights. So you get a more nighttime feel to the map. And you can also change this. But that's for cinematic effects. You can also change your brightness and just increase your contrast to add that effect. But I think we got it the first time. We don't need this. 6 default. And let's just think we can play with our what happens if we do this? Yeah, let's just keep it a low number. Maybe 2. Or we could brighten this up. And the backlight. I don't think we have any problems with the backlight. Let's keep it at 1. Let's keep this low. 0.5, no. It's too disturbing. Okay. I think that's great. I think we have enough here. Set it to 2 maybe. And the field to 2. Just lowering it down a bit. So this is it. Without fog, with fog. Okay. I think those are the important things I want to document. The global ambient affects the color. think a little purple is good. It affects the depth of the shadow, the colors here, so you can play with it. Then tone mapping, diffuse multiplier affects units and doodads. Reinhardt method. I like to use Reinhardt sometimes. You can use anything here. I think they really don't matter that much. But with Reinhardt, you can control the white point. Then ambient multiplier doesn't do anything. Input low and high affects the somehow the contrast. You can also change it here. Enter in diffuse multiplier affects how much of the diffuse gets into your terrain. Specular exponent is how huge the specularity is. Specular multiplier just defines how shiny your terrain is. I think it's 2.8 is good for this. Then regions can always make this look nice. So let's add some regions here. Region 2. Let's say we have strong god lights. Let's define this. We got a brighter here. Just move. Copy from global. Okay, there it is. And we will brighten up our ambient at this side. Okay. Oops. Can change our. I know this doesn't do anything. Diffuse. Oh, why am I not seeing the effect here? Is this only visible in the game? Okay, let me do it. Change the put this to the test here. Yep. Maybe you should use the gameplay view. Yep, there it is. Gameplay view. Let's copy. That's nothing. Let's brighten up a bit. Okay. Doesn't look nice. Anyway, you can play with that if you want. Oh. What happened there? Oh, okay. Because this is a new instance. What? Layer 2. Whoa. Render. Shader mode. What is going on here? Ah, there it is. Lighting regions. I've always had this problem. Okay, let's try to test this in game. Okay, I think I messed up the cinematic with the terrain change there. By the way, this Phoenix model is really nice. And this Tassadar model is very nice. Maybe a slower animation speed would make this look better. It's taking damage. Okay. I'm not sure if this is better. I'm not sure if this light is better than the old one. But I think I like it more. See, I can see brown and some color changes on the terrain, which is good. Should focus on our upgrades. Nope, range is better. Then focus on expanding. Whoa. Templar Archives. Okay, I think that's it for now. And I'll see you guys next time. Continue our terrain for the Maporino entry.